Hello everyone. Even though it's still early in the year, I thought it'd be a good idea to give all of you a heads up on what LEGO Star Wars sets are retiring at the end of this year. There is still a lot of time where things can change, but for the most part, this retirement list should stay the same. If anything does change though, I will be making another video similar to this at the end of the year for any final adjustments to the list. Anyway, though, there are some really great sets about to retire, so hopefully you guys will make sure to pick them up before they leave us. For this video, I'll group them in sections, the first one being some smaller miscellaneous sets, then play sets, and we'll end with 18 plus sets. There are some chapters in this video, so feel free to skip around to where you want to. Now, like I mentioned, we'll start with some of the smaller miscellaneous sets, and the first one here is the AAT Polybag. I myself am not too big into polybags, but it looks good, so if you enjoyed polybags, make sure to get it. Boba Fett's Starship Microfighter is the next set retiring, and if you're into microfighters, that's really the only reason you should get it. The Boba Fett is a good figure, but the exact same figure is also in a few other sets, so if you don't have him already, this is a cheap way to get him. Otherwise, it's just another microfighter. The Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter will be retiring too. This set is honestly kind of bad. It's a more expensive microfighter than normal, and for it you get two very common minifigures and a not so great build. I find absolutely no reason to buy this set. The mechs will thankfully be leaving us at the end of this year, the Darth Vader, Stormtrooper, and Boba Fett mech. These sets aren't actually that bad, it's just mechs don't really make sense for Star Wars. Plus, with all these figures being available elsewhere, it just makes no sense to buy any of these in my opinion. These are definitely three sets I can recommend skipping. Moving on from that though, we can go ahead and look at the majority of this list, which is filled with play sets. The first one I'll mention is the Millennium Falcon. This is the playset version based on episode 9, and even though it's based off the sequels, I have to admit it's a good set. Obviously it's annoying, it's based on the sequels, and I don't care for it for that reason. But objectively, it's a solid set. Despite the build being a routine procedure, I will say the figures are pretty neat. I would really like to have a few of those Avician figures. Other than that though, I can guarantee another Playscale Millennium Falcon will come soon. So unless you really want these figures, I can't really think of a reason you should bother with this set. Also on the list is Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter. I think this is an amazing little set. Its retail is $30, but I've seen it basically constantly on sale for $24, and at that price, it's an insanely good deal. The Jedi Starfighter is just a cool ship, and it's hard not to like this set. The minifigures are great too, specifically Tan Wei. A really solid set I think everyone should try and pick up before the end of the year. The next set I'm really sad to see go is the 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack. Despite the helmet holes, it's a fantastic battle pack. Because the thing is, most of the troopers in this set actually use their helmet holes, so it's not an issue here, they're covered up. The lineup of figures is really neat, and if you're a Clone Wars fan, this set is a must-have. There's some very unique clone troopers that we probably won't really see again. The other thing about this battle pack is the build is good looking too. It's just a great overall battle pack. The fourth playset retiring is the TIE Bomber. This is another great set that I can recommend to basically everyone. A really good display piece with some fun play features, as well as a decent minifigure lineup. I still wish Admiral Sloane was in her white uniform, but it's still cool to see her here. And it's definitely a reason to pick up this set. This one I can definitely recommend grabbing before it's gone. Another clone set, the Coruscant Guard gunship, is also on the list, but I definitely could see this one getting pushed back a year. It kind of feels like this set just came out, and I haven't even seen it on sale yet. If we're looking at the facts though, I will say this set does have some issues. But at the same time, I don't see them making another Coruscant Guard gunship anytime soon. So if you want one, now's your chance. The Ghost in Phantom 2 has so much to love. The build is such an improvement in basically every way possible. A fantastic looking model and an absolute must-have for Star Wars Rebels fans. This version of the set is based off the Ahsoka show though, so the minifigures are from that show, not Rebels. On the topic of the minifigures, they're honestly kind of a little boring. It's not a stellar lineup, but luckily the build more than makes up for this. The Pirate Snub Fighter from The Mandalorian will also appear on this list. This set is nothing special. It's fine, and I get why they made it so you could recreate the scene with Mando's in one. Beyond that, though, as a standalone set, it's kind of disappointing. In my eyes, the only reason to get this set is for the figures or if you're a big fan of The Mandalorian. The 4 Plus set, Tempu Jedi Temple, is not exactly the Jedi Temple everyone was hoping for, and while it is a 4 Plus set, it's still much better than some of the other sets of that range. The builds are serviceable here, nothing too complex given the age rating. The minifigures are the standouts here though for sure. Some really unique molds and cool characters with some vibrant colors. And while I think the builds do a fine job, at the 4 Plus rating, the minifigures are definitely the standout and why you'd buy this set. The 332nd Ahsoka's Clone Troopers Battle Pack was a letdown to say the least. These figures just don't look nearly as good as the original. The Commander Vaughn is so lazy too. All they did was give him a visor and put a marking on his torso. Battle packs are supposed to be about the figures, and these guys just aren't that great, and I wouldn't worry about picking this one up. It feels a little weird to say that, as clone battle packs are almost normally always a must buy, but with the current state of clones, and specifically with this battle pack, there's just not much there for you. At $35, Yoda's Jedi Starfighter is a little overpriced, but if you find it on sale, it's not a bad pickup. If you already have the first one though, I will say there's basically no reason to buy this set. It's pretty much the exact same, just the build's obviously a little updated. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with the set, it's just not a standout in either the build or the minifigures. It's definitely not a bad set, but there are a lot of other sets I would recommend before it. The second Mandalorian set retiring is the Mandalorian Fane Fighter vs. TIE Interceptor. Another unbelievably good set that I recommend for everybody. The Fane Fighter is cool and all, but the Interceptor is crazy good. Seriously, the TIE Interceptor looks like a mock. They really knocked this one out of the park, and I definitely think everyone needs this ship. The minifigures are a little weak, but not bad, and they definitely don't deter me away from the set at all. This is another set I don't think I've seen on a sale yet, actually, so if you do, make sure to pick this one up. It's a must buy. The third Mandalorian set, the Spider Tank, will be leaving too. And similarly to the Pirate Snub Fighter, the main reason to buy this set is if you're a big Mandalorian fan. The build is very well done, don't get me wrong, but it's just that it only really appears in the one scene. It doesn't give you a whole lot of incentive to buy it. Besides this, the minifigures here are great though. The new Mandalorian figure and the new Bo-Katan are fantastic. Specifically, the Bo-Katan is exclusive to this set. Looking at it, it really is a good set. It's just the Spider Tank it's based off of is not that interesting in my opinion. That was actually the last playset on the list, and so now we're going to move on to the 18 plus sets. The first one is Darth Vader's helmet, and for you helmet fans, I would highly recommend this one. It looks like the helmet line is done for good, and so this will be one of the last ones we see. The helmet was captured well, even with its complex geometry, and with a character as iconic as Darth Vader, you can't go wrong. Another helmet that's retiring is Princess Leia's Bosch helmet. Another great build, but just not one that I care a ton about. I think this set is definitely where you could see they were starting to run out of ideas for the helmet line. My favorite diorama, the Emperor's Throne Room, is set to depart, and I think this is an amazing set. The scene is captured perfectly, and they did so good capturing the geometry of the window behind it. I know some believe it's overpriced, and I kinda agree, but if you find it on a sale, I think you could have a really good deal on your hands. The UCS AT-AT makes an appearance on this list as well, but I could definitely see this one getting pushed back to next year. It's been out for a while, don't get me wrong, and I don't have any insider scoop, but it's just a pattern I assume will hold true here. The UCS Millennium Falcon has been out for forever now, and this set is just as good as that one, so I don't really see them pulling the plug quite yet. I will say though, if there is any kind of sale and you want it, you should definitely take advantage, as it's definitely on its way out in the next few years. Commander Cody's helmet is a good set, and I think even better than Rex's. If you love the Clone Wars, this one will be one of the only two sets from the line based on it. I, however, prefer a good playset over these helmet sets, so I'm not quite as invested in the line. If you do enjoy the helmets though, this is definitely one of the better ones. Another fun diorama leaving is the Endor Speeder Chase. I honestly don't have too much to say on this one. It's not overly good or bad. You can't go wrong either way. This one's a little more up to you if you enjoy this scene or not. I personally really enjoy the dioramas, so I'll end up getting this one probably no matter what. The MIDI scale Executor Super Star Destroyer was a great display piece and the perfect desktop display. An absolutely phenomenal return for the MIDI scale, which is now newly named the Starship Collection. And for anyone that wants a smaller display piece, this set works great. The big buildable R2D2 will be leaving this year right as its smaller successor comes out. This set's good, I guess, and has nothing really wrong with it. But if it were me, I'd just pass this one up and buy the smaller one personally. The $140 difference is worth it, especially considering they both have similar levels of detail, it's just a different size. The 8th 18 Plus set leaving is the Master Builder Series Mos Eisley Cantina. This is a great set. The 21 minifigures included are fantastic, and the Cantina build is a perfect recreation. The set is $400 though, which is fair, but it's still expensive, so I'll definitely be watching for sales to hopefully be able to pick it up later this year. We have another UCS set leaving us, and it's the Luke Skywalker's Land Speeder. While the idea of a $240 land speeder is pretty lame, the build is terrific. It's so sleek and has every detail and curve down perfectly. The land speeder unfortunately just doesn't interest me. The last set leaving at the end of the year is the buildable Chewbacca. I actually like this set, which is somewhat of an unpopular opinion, and I totally get it. While the build is good for $200, I'd rather have a few of those other sets on the list than just this one. I know some people think Chewie's face looks pretty bad, but I don't think it actually looks bad at all. I actually quite enjoy this set, I just don't know if I'll get it because of that price tag. $200 is a lot to spend on a buildable Chewbacca. Like I said, that was actually the last set on this list. So now I just want to thank you all for watching and hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I hope this helped you guys know what sets you want to pick up before the end of 2024. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.